This next clip is setting the world on fire, at least this part of the internet on fire. And I know a lot of people have already seen it, but let's take a slightly different look at it that gets a little bit more out of it. Okay, if you've seen it or haven't seen it or heard of it, two of the fellows walk into a grocery store, they rip off a lot of stuff. One of the other customers in the store offers to pay for it. The guy says, no, you're not going to pay for this stolen stuff. They're going to give it back and get the hell out of there. He goes around to the counter, confronts them, tells them that. Next thing you know, he's having a heart attack. He's in the hospital, not clear whether he's going to live or die. Fella stuck around, hopped over the counter. They might not be that good at math at school, but it didn't take them long to figure out the computer graphic screen on that computer that would open the cashier. That's what they did. They grabbed the cashier. This is an unusual case, too, because they left the Newport menthols behind. Off they go without anybody, including that guy who offered to pay for the goodies. They all left, leaving this guy on the floor unconscious from a heart attack. Let's take a look at that. And then let's take a look at some parents who are pulling their kids out of black schools, but they're still doing it for all the wrong reasons.
35th birthday. His coworkers tell me that his wife doesn't work and Zarif is the breadwinner for her and their 3 children. Now his coworkers are hoping that police can bring these suspects to justice and make them pay for what they didn't do. And let's call for help.
I couldn't watch it the first time. I had to stop and walk away. It totally just broke my heart.
Angela Sharapova is still shaken after watching what surveillance video caught last weekend at work.
Her actions could cost this man his life.
Watch the clerk ring up the adult man's items. Investigators say he's not involved in this incident. The man refused to pay for the items the 2 teens had helped themselves to only moments before. Zarif then begins arguing with the teens for not paying enough to cover their stolen snacks. And as the argument escalates, Zarif suddenly collapses to the floor. What happens next is mind-boggling for detectives.
Attempt to get into the cash register, they steal some items, they leave the store a couple times and come back in, they jump over the counter. Eventually they are able to get the cash register drawer open, and they take all the money out of the drawer and they steal more merchandise from the store and they leave.
Investigators say they now know who these suspects are, but so far they're not in custody. Several minutes pass before a bystander enters the store and calls 911. It's those precious minutes the clerk's coworkers believe could have been used calling for help and giving Zarif the best chance to survive.
I didn't think that anybody would be able to do that to begin with.
The clerk's family and coworkers are now praying he'll make a full recovery. They're also raising money online to help his family pay for their medical bills. Still, they all wonder how anyone could ignore someone in obvious need of help.
This is not something that you see very often, but unfortunately you do see it. And when you do, it really shocks people and makes people wonder what is going on when people can be this cold to other people.
So we've actually talked about this just a little bit before, how even black parents are pulling their kids out of homeschool, how a lot of white parents are pulling their kids out of school into homeschool, because a white parent sending their kid to a predominantly black school is child abuse. Well, the black parents have a slightly different take on it. They know that they're sending their kids to a black school. They know that they're condemning their child to 12 years of educational underachievement. That means that by the time they get to high school, in Baltimore, for example, 16 high schools in Baltimore do not have one single child that can read above a 3rd grade level, i.e., they read emojis and that's about it. The parents you're going to see here at this story from the Black News Division of NBC, yes, NBC has a Black News Division, focuses on the parents who pulled their kids out of these black schools because the racist white teachers are always blaming black kids. The kind of kids we just saw in that previous video. They're blaming black kids for stuff for no reason whatsoever. And that's the only reason why so many more black kids, like 3, 4, 5, 10, 100 times more black kids are suspended and expelled from school. Criminal justice reform says we have to make sure those numbers are equal, or else that is proof positive of white racism. Let's get to that clip, because this is probably, everything about this clip is probably way more important than the one we just saw.
It is about the African-American culture.
I felt like that homeschooling was the best way to educate my children.
It's a way of protesting.
I like homeschooling better.
We come from...
This is a school you can mess up.
I want each of my students to believe that they can achieve their dreams.
We come from different walks of life. But we started in Africa.
I am Dr. Sheba Quinn, an Air Force veteran and a homeschool mom. I started homeschooling my kids because I really wanted them to have a solid foundation in African American history, and I also wanted them to be very good readers. Perfect! Give me 5, girl. You're so smart. What? There came a point in time to where I wanted to have my children go farther in reading and writing, and the teachers in the school system just was not really trying to hear it. So finally, I was just like, you know what? I'm quitting my job and I'm homeschooling my kids. If you're homeschooling in the state of Georgia, what they would like for you to do is do the charter school homeschool program, where they just give everything to you. That didn't work too well for us. The curriculum was okay, but again, there's still no African American history. There was all these missing pieces and gaps that I needed to fill in. So finally I said, you know what? Forget the curriculum. I'm writing it myself.
At what happens in public schools in terms of the curriculum, you could end up thinking that African American history begins with slavery and ended with Martin Luther King, and that's just not the case.
We may not have physical money, a lot of physical money, but richness is in your soul, okay? As a single parent, my source of income is my retirement check from the military, and I also receive assistance from the children's father. I manage homeschooling by making sure we're all on a tight schedule. Everything is planned out in our world. My day starts about 3 o'clock in the morning, and yes, I know a girl that start early.
Numbers are higher in the South. A lot of the institutional policies, such as zero tolerance policies and the way we handle discipline, contribute to a sense of a child feeling like a troublemaker. I have come to think of this increase of homeschooling among African American families as a form of resistance.
And there's 6 of us. She got 6 kids, and I'm the oldest. No matter what, know yourself, love yourself first.
He has broken wings. Okay. Now, I want you to really think deeply about this.
My name is Tara Pavel. I am the teacher and director of Achieve Academy, which is a group of students that are all homeschooled together. My experience is when you show a student positive attention, you show them that I don't care how many mistakes that you make today or any day, as long as you try your hardest, you see that student begin to really blossom. So I think that's the difference.
Own money. Own money. Okay? So an entrepreneur is someone who starts a business with their own money, all right? Or their own hair salons, right? Those are entrepreneurs. What do we know about entrepreneurship? Anybody? Make money.
My name is Hamilton Sheldon Ashley. I am 12 years old. My name is Inde Broadness. I am 8 years old. I've been at the Chill Camera 3 years. Miss Tara is the best teacher because she told us if we mess up, it's not gonna be on your card because this is a school you can mess up. I'm shy, and my friends here makes me comfortable. I just like this place.
So we are going to Kingdom Boxing. We're doing this theme of dreams and making our dreams come true.
Yeah. Bring it right back to your face. 1, 2, 3. Good.
We come from riches, right? Were you born to be rich?
Yes.
Yes. Will you ever be poor?
No.
No. People feeling like that African American children that are homeschooled are being segregated, I would have to disagree with that because every family is different. I make sure that they are involved with other nationalities and cultures. I mean, they are on softball teams, they're on soccer teams, they have a business, they're in Girl Scouts. I mean, we interact with people all the time.
There's no place that I have not been. Wherever you may go, you will find a light. The African, every place. African in America, African in Europe.
We're no longer looking to the public school for uplift for the culture, but the lesser known history is that we've always been self-taught, and it was our self-agency and our self-determination that got us to the point where we were seeking education as a way of freedom.
Boy, these parents are in such denial, deceit, and delusion. We'll give them credit for, I don't know, do we give credit to people around here for trying around here? First thing I noticed about that clip is the kids were kind of like condemned to sit on these chairs, those plastic, those metal folding chairs. Yeah, that's hell. And then the graph dutifully reminds us that only 10% of the kids' history, the history they learn, is African American history. And most of that's probably spent on discussing the movie Wakanda. And so let's give some of these black parents at least some credit for realizing there's more for their children out there than what they found in the black public schools that were destroying whatever small spark of the will to learn, the enthusiasm for learning that they may have had when they went in there. Because we know that among black people, among black students, learning is frowned upon, scorned, ridiculed to the point where you just don't do it. Because learning in public schools for black people, from white teachers teaching white racism, imposing their white racist teaching methods of learning, discipline, we know that makes the black kids angry.